This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monty Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and My Mortgage Team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at thetalkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Welcome back, Monty.
Welcome back, Carey Ann. Welcome back, Jason.
I know,
Huber.
Jason's with us.
Jason's the man. I'll tell you what, he's an awesome broker here at Realty One Group in Franklin. We have about 110 agents now, Jason, and thank you for taking such awesome care of them, brother.
Doing an amazing job.
Hey, I appreciate the trust.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what this office is already just 2 years old, and it's already putting out over $300 million in volume.
It's so cool to see, being friends with you for so long, you know,
wow.
To see where everything's come.
Yes, we're so excited, and I just so grateful for this guy. Just to say, in case you didn't know that, Carey Ann, I'm really grateful for this guy.
I know. He is awesome.
Hey, we are, I heard recently where people spend more time planning their vacation than they do their life. And I'm afraid that there's real estate.
What's a vacation, actually? I was just checking.
I'm concerned that there's real estate professionals, agents certainly,
sure, that
probably fall in that category of spending more time thinking about not a whole lot of things. I mean, compared to, I almost sound like we don't sit around thinking about a whole lot of things, but my point is, I know when I first got started in the business, I wasn't intentional. Okay. I knew nothing. My broker held up two pieces of paper, one filled out, one not. This is the contract. Make this one look like this one. That was my training. And I had no direction. I had no business plan knowledge whatsoever. I just went out there and kind of like, what do I do next? Kind of thing. Okay. So, we're going to talk today about creating a business plan for 2021, and because Jason's going to be leading a class or a workshop this week for Realty One Group Music City, which we're really excited about. So this is really fresh in our heart, isn't it, Jason?
It is.
It's a topic that I cannot over impress. I did a video for our team, sent out this morning, because I said, guys, there's not a class, there's not a workshop that I can put more emphasis on than designing a plan, a business plan for your life here, basically. So and for your next year, 2021 is going to be a critical year. And what we're doing right now is such an influence on what happens next year. But before we go any further, let's talk about our sponsor.
Yes, we're so thankful for Music City Removal. They are the #1 junk removal service in Nashville. From residential, commercial, and construction, they're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants, and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, because Music City Removal, clutter ain't cute.
And Carey Ann, we literally limped last week when you weren't here, just for the record, 2 weeks ago. And Jason Hoover, I was so proud of him.
He did my line.
He did your line that clutter ain't cute.
I love it.
But we thought about you because you certainly are.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and clutter ain't cute, nor is winging it in this business, right?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, how can you get through?
It's a bloodbath if you don't.
Oh my gosh.
And so many,
if you don't plan,
do, right?
Right.
They wake up saying, hey, it's a new day. What am I going to do today?
It is estimated over 80% of real estate agents never have done a business plan.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Which, to me, that shows why it's 87% is estimated agents
failure.
fall out of the business within a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the direct result, I'm sure, that foundation and having an intention. A clear intention of where you're going and how you're going to get there.
And it's like you say all the time, success leaves clues. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a big piece of the pie right there is that, okay, well, if over 80% do not do it and over 80% fail out, what does that tell you?
Right. Well, I mean, you're the CEO of your own business, right? So you definitely have to run it like a business. So you have to start.
You are the
step
business.
one.
Yes.
Writing a business plan, having that mission, having that vision for the year, for sure.
And I think that's one of the areas probably as a result of as part of the reason why the failure rate, I think, is what it is because people aren't taking it at that level. You never buy a McDonald's. My point is, you never buy a McDonald's franchise and probably not have a business plan. You're not going to lay out, what does it cost now? $500,000, $1 million? I have no idea what it costs now.
Hamburgers are expensive.
Yeah, but the idea there is that you have made a huge commitment, so you're on task. You're going to McDonald's University, and you're doing all the things, the fryers over to the left. Everything is like it's supposed to be because you have made such an investment. Mm-hmm. As a real estate agent, what it costs to get involved and start paddling? A couple $1,000s,
Well, some don't even spend that much.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't become board members and things.
I mean,
like
it goes back to the question that Jason and I ask ourselves daily: are we interested or are we committed? Do you have one toe in or you got the full foot in? Like if you are committed, you're writing the plan and you're not just writing it. Now, let me rephrase. So last year I wrote it, and then come February that was thrown out the window. Right?
Thank you, COVID.
I was like, well, none of this is actually going to work this year, right?
But see, here's the thing, and I'm sure you did this as well because it happened to us,
Uh-huh.
and Mindy and I, we had 3 things that we focus in on. Well, one of those were events.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? We could no longer do events.
Sure,
and
right.
of what little we could do, which we include mega open houses as part of that.
Right.
Well, in our plan, we were able to shift quickly and push forward on some of our other things to make up for that. But if I was without a plan, it'd just been shooting in the dark.
Right. And that's the hardest. And then you start spending money that you didn't have, and then you're not making enough to offset. So a plan is so important. I'm so thankful for someone that taught me a long time ago to put one in place. But there's one thing about writing it, and then there's another thing about actually executing on it. Right.
Exactly.
So excited to talk more about that today.
Yes.
Do you have a plan there, Mom?
I do. And
Over your 35 years?
Yeah, it's a plan right now. It's a plan to continue to bring in more amazing agents into our organization because I'm trying to get out of productivity. So my plan is to change from productivity, as far as selling and enlisting real estate, more to finding the right people to join our team and our family. But yeah, it's the same principles. It's still, still numbers. It's still working with the right people. It's still having that focus. It's still being that intentional. When I get up in the morning, I still reread the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Professionals, and I highly recommend everybody do that at least once a year because to me that's one of the best times to read that is at the end of the year so that you're ready to really take on that new year and make a new commitment to getting up earlier and a new commitment to establishing your foundation every morning and making sure you're taking care of yourself because as we know, a year can go like that,
And I'm so thankful. It felt a little slower this year. I was like, are we getting to the finish line?
I don't know that it seems slower. To me, it seemed faster. Maybe because of the distractions and so forth. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to this class this week, and we want to encourage everybody that's listening to this. If you can't attend it, you want to make sure you go to.
Well, actually, we're already going to be. They've already attended it.
I know it.
You're right with us.
It's too late.
That's okay. So
But I was going to tell them how to watch it because Mr. Jim McCarthy is going to be there to record it.
So. Cool. That's exciting. Well, we can learn so much, and that's why I'm excited. To attend it because I feel like even though I've been in the business a super long time, I can learn one new idea that I can add to my business plan that I think works. We're all in sales, right? And actually sales is a term, but we all provide value and make a difference within the community and do that. But there's more to just, hey, what am I going to do to capture leads? That's just one option, right? Then what am I going to do to balance out the finances that I make so I then can reinvest and grow my business too. And that's a big part of the plan, right?
Right.
Well, and that's why I say, a business plan is not just about numbers.
Right.
A business plan is designing your journey to success. And
huge.
Your journey to success. Did you did you write that down? You're running out of space here.
I write it down.
One thing I love about you, Carey Ann, you're always writing notes.
Right.
Look at these notes. Look at these notes.
No one will ever read them except for me.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
But so there's many different parts of a business plan, and that's why we're not just doing an hour-long business plan. We're doing a 3-hour workshop.
Love it.
Workshop.
Love it.
And so, I'd love to just kind of, talk about, how this is designed and what we're going to be, or what we have provided. But I'm excited about it because, just like Monte says, we are looking always for, top class real estate agents, professionals to join with us. Well, we want to provide the best training, the best solutions, and support. And this is such a huge piece of that. It is in planning and detailing your business and what you want it to be.
What I love about our industry is it can be at many different levels, and you can be very successful at each level. For lending, a loan officer says they want to be $1 million producer. Absolutely. Sure. I'd love to help you be a successful $1 million producer. Right. Then you've got the 2 million, then you got 4, 5, 20 million, whatever level you want to be. It depends on if you want to work 70 hours versus, 25 hours, 40 hours, whatever the intention is. But that's what's exciting. You can turn it up, turn it down. Yeah. You can have a little extra time for the family if you choose, right? You can be on that retiree side if you would like, or you can be young and hungry and work all the time, and then figure out how to put a vacation in the midst of it all. So planning, what do they say? Plan the work and work the plan.
They do.
If you fail to, you've planned to fail, right? Or how's that go?
Failing to plan is a plan to fail. And so planning, first for your business plan, what we're going to be covering is, different pieces of it is, of course, one is how much you want to make. I mean, obviously, and then we'll back that out, but that's just a piece of it, because if you don't understand what that means to you, then it really means nothing. Right. And when COVID comes along and kicks you in the butt in February, then everything goes out the window, or are you going to readjust and be committed to still figuring out a way to make your plan work? I'm
a simple gal. There's a term called, KISS. I call it keep it seriously simple. Yeah. I've changed it because I like it just because I'm serious for serious. I changed it. Yes, right. And I'm positive. But simple is when I hear some of these coaches are like, call 45 people a day and all, whoa, too much. Right. Like too much for me. Not going to happen. Right. Although come to find out, when I keep it so simple, I ended up talking just more than what I was required to call. You know what I'm saying? So, they say do 3 money-making activities a day, but you better do 3 money-making activities a day, and if you're somebody that when you're in the home, and yes, COVID has made us a little bit more in the house, but I need to get out, get my earbuds in, and I need to start walking and listening to something that's going to get me motivated to get my mindset, for the day. Right. Do something, like you say, you listen to Saviors, or you do your Saviors every morning, which is, part of
silence,
Miracle
affirmations,
Morning.
Visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing.
Right. And I post every morning at 6:00, trying some sort of motivational number. I have to get up and look for that every morning. That is my time for me to go read out and find something that moves me for that morning, right? And then I offer it to somebody else.
Enough to share it with everybody.
Yeah, and but I do that purposefully for me to get my mindset, organized. Some people may say it's scheduled, but no, it's looked up every morning. Do something for you. But what are you doing Mondays? What are you doing Tuesdays? If you're going to schedule that for your workout, it's the same difference for your business.
Exactly.
If you're going to have a cheat day. Now, keep in mind, every day right now is currently a cheat day when it comes to the health standpoint. Maybe we'll throw that in the mix. But if you're going to have that, what is that day for you? Where you're not on point. Now for a real estate agent, Saturdays and Sundays are big days, right? So what is your off day if you have one? Is that Tuesdays and Wednesdays? I don't know. Monday and Tuesdays? Maybe just choice. Mondays? It's your choice,
just
right?
like your goal setting is your choice. Somebody came to me the other day, one of our agents, and said, Monty, I'm so sorry that I haven't hit the level that I intended on by now. And I said, look, man, it's not. You're not here to please me. My job isn't to make you successful. My job is to create an environment where you choose success, but success is relevant to your life. It's not about me. Right. Hell, I used to sell 10 homes a month. That was my goal because I wanted to sell 100 homes a year. That's crazy as a real estate professional. I had no other life or anything else. I accomplished it for a few years in a row, but that has nothing to do with anyone else. It's your goals we're here to help you accomplish. My job is to create the environment that you can do that.
I need to hang out here.
I tried asking Mindy, why didn't you hit your goal this year? You see this right here?
You see that scar?
Next thing I knew, I was waking up.
I love that. Now, I'm a little different because I do think that if I look at the numbers and I hit my goal, I seem to not work. Like I seem to let it off, off the,
You have to adjust every quarter.
So I don't look at that. I just go, full force. I do what I said I was going to do every day and stay consistent with that. And then all of a sudden I noticed at the end, not only did we hit our goal, but we exceeded our goal. And we did that every single month this year, which is super exciting, right? And so to know that the year's not even over and we've helped over 940 families.
Holy cow.
I mean, it's amazing, right?
That's
just amazing.
Isn't that like 30% more than last year or something?
Quite a bit.
40%?
Yeah, quite a bit. But it's so cool to
That's
think that
incredible.
we're able to
That's
help
incredible.
that. But that is an example where if I probably saw I hit my goal on the 15th, I might just, watch a few more Hallmark Channel
but
movies.
Let's think
I
about
don't
that
know.
for a second, Carey Ann. I mean, again, it's all our own personal interpretation. They've been fine to take the rest of the year off.
I know.
That would have been fine if you could have given yourself permission to do that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I did the same thing. When I got partway through the year, I realized I'd already exceeded what I wanted to do on personal sales. So I had a choice. Do I
And
kick
that's
back?
choices, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
I took my choice was no. I'm going to up it to now from 15 million to 20 million. I can do 20 million now. So I want to keep pressing. I always put a plus sign on any of my goals. Always put a plus sign on them because I don't want to limit my subconscious mind to think that that's as far as I have to go.
But that's the coolest thing, like you just said. The thought of me ever being able to hit $100 million was like that weird dream. It was in a book. You read about it. You never achieve it, and then to be able to do that and to know we've done over 240 million this year and for it to be such a large percentage of purchase business is quite amazing. Right. But so that's what's super cool. You can have your goal and you can achieve anything you put your mind to. And it does not matter that you're female or male in this business. You can do it, but it does come back to consistency, putting the plan and working the plan, right? Planning, yes, the commitment on it is super cool. I teach loan officers and I talk about the storyline of the tortoise and the hare. I just keep talking about the tortoise and the hare. In this world of 2020, a lot of lenders went very much like the hare. The rates changed, so they turned their head and they ran like crazy on those refinances. And they dropped all of that purchase business, right? And many agents would call and say, the lender I used to use was focused on refis and, wasn't this or that. The tortoise of sales stays consistent. Keeps there's no sense, and maybe they're not as fast as the hare, but they will stay consistent. I always say I'm the fastest, slowest turtle around, right? But that's who ends up winning the race long term. If you're doing this business long term, right? If you're just wanting to,
it's like investing,
fast fry, your business, then great, you can do it. But they always say, why do these lenders go up and then their volume's down? They're up and they have really great months, and then all of a sudden 3 months, they don't do business, and possibly that might be similar to real estate. I don't know, but they're focused on
the roller coaster agent.
How do we help everybody with that plan stay consistent, throughout the whole year? And it makes it really exciting, I think. I don't know. I love it. It's so fun. Planning out. So what are some things that you would add to a business plan if I was new to real estate?
Well, it's like you said, it's so business planning, it's not a one size fits all. Some people are more detailed than others. And if you want to try to make everybody a detailed business plan, most of real estate agents, the majority are going to be DI personalities. So that's going to drive them very crazy.
Right.
So, but you also have the other ones like me that I love the numbers and plugging in numbers and actually seeing it because it formulates that whole story for me. So
to me, it becomes empowering.
Yeah,
to do that.
absolutely. And so to that point, it's like, okay, well, we're going to hit high levels, but we'll dive in deep. And then also too, if you want to go even deeper, I'm going to have that available as well. But first thing you've got to, as with anything, you got to have the vision, and then you got to hold on to that vision. And, just hold on to it tightly, because when, again, things happen, you got to understand why you're doing it. And it's all starts with the mindset. Everything that I teach, I always talk about mindset because that's important. It is So important.
I so agree with that.
And so from there, you got to go into the commitment. Okay, if I'm going to do this, am I going to be committed to this? Because this is not just an event. This is a process. And it makes no difference. Or it doesn't do me any good to sit for 3 hours, formulate a business plan, and then put it up on the shelf.
Yeah.
And which most people do that. So that's why we're also one of the big critical pieces of this is going to be the ongoing accountability.
Huge.
Yeah, because that accountability will determine the success of the agent. And I was reading a thing that agents that actually do a business plan and that are actually serious about it, the ones that do not have an accountability partner, roughly about 35% actually work their business plan. The ones that do have an accountability partner is roughly about 78% hit their business plan. That's drastically different.
That is.
And that's only the serious people. That's not the ones that say, yeah, I want to do it, and then put it on the shelf. Those are the ones that are literally trying to work through it. That's how much accountability matters.
Yeah, I think that's important. I have that with myself. And some people can have that self-motivation or you're going to fall off the wagon and you get yourself back on. But it is easy. I've talked to some people in this year, and they're amazing at what they do, and that whole mindset is such an important piece. They fell into a depression, and it's just hard to get out without a partner.
And too, with the accountability is, say February comes around and you haven't even gotten close to your first quarter goals. It's so easy just to throw it out the window.
The rest of the year.
Yeah, and you're toast. So, but if you have an accountability partner, it's like, okay, here, let's arm in arm, let's figure out how we're going to adjust this for the remainder part.
Right.
Pivot.
Yeah.
We learned how to pivot this past year for sure. The other thing too is whenever you plan to do something, 12 months is a long time. You know, I mean, like you said, it went fast, but it is a long time to stay consistent, right? I mean, I'm consistent with work, but not so much with the working out, and the health part for sure. But the consistency, as in this past year, I chose to do more consumer direct. That was what I wrote in my business plan. I was going to do events like you shared, and I was going to write handwritten thank you notes for every closing, and I thought I would do a Thanksgiving card, right? Yeah. So I stayed consistent with that, but I had to write them every month to be able to get to the finish line, right? Which was the end of it. But after you write so many of those, you're like, what was I thinking? This is just craziness, right? Yeah. But it's like if you say you're going to do something and you see your 7-year-old that you just told, and you're trying to teach that commitment, you keep doing it, right? Correct. And it was a great feeling to be able to mail out all of those, that were handwritten. But those are things, if you're gonna write it down, you have to do it. So don't write it if you're not gonna do it, is my opinion, right?
Yes, be committed to it, be married to it.
Then mark it off once you get it done, because there's that satisfaction, I think. It makes a difference when you mark it off. I mean, a check mark makes a big difference. Some people, I guess, draw a line through it. Some people just go on to the next page. I like to mark it off.
Well, and so let's go back to the full business plan.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I see business plans, they only talk about your income projections.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of it, but it goes beyond that. You got to understand your budget.
Huge.
And if you don't follow the budget, it doesn't matter what your income is. I mean, if you blow it out of the water, then what you wanted to make that year doesn't matter, because now you're operating in the red. So, you got to create a budget, a real budget, not one of these that you just kind of pull out of thin air. Let's look at your real expenses. What does it really cost you to live? What is that threshold?
Right.
What are the real expenses in your business? And, so many times people underestimate that. And then also too, what are you putting back into your business?
That's the part I think people forget, right? You got to spend money to make money, in my opinion.
They think they made a $9,000 check. They've just made $9,000 in income.
Right.
Well, no, wait a minute, Uncle Sam. You need to save up for him, because he's going to be coming knocking on your door.
Right.
You gotta put it back into your marketing. and you've got to, oh, wait a minute, you've got dues, you've got all sorts of different fees. So the $9,000 is not immediate $9,000 income.
And that's you really hit that on the head really well, Jason. That is such a common mistake. You know, and the marketing part you said, I think people forget that marketing's got to be a long play.
Right.
And I've always, you were talking about this the other day about my marketing efforts have always been okay if they were paying for it themselves. I didn't have to see a profit. I just want to know they're paying for themselves. If they're not paying for themselves after 6 months, then I need to revisit that.
Hold your money accountable.
Right.
And that's where, you know, and I forget who said it, but they say that if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business.
So a girlfriend of mine, I learned this, which I think was awesome. I'm a girl, if I see it, I want to spend it. So I'm quick to move it. Like I don't want to see it. And I only allow myself to see one bank account. But have different bank accounts, a tax account.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Have a marketing account, you know, and have your bill account, but quickly move that money, because all of a sudden I'm like, wow, look at that.
Right.
You know, or I need to work a little harder.
Yeah,
Or start a real estate company that you pay the agents 100%. Then you don't have to worry about having that money to move around. Okay, I'm on a $30,000 a year salary.
Oh,
So
there you go.
Yeah. Well, and like he says, you do. That's part of your budget. How much
Right.
are you going to pay yourself?
Right.
Sure.
And again, that $9,000 is not all yours. You got to shift, going back to that mindset, you've got to shift that way of thinking. And so that $9,000, what portion is actually going in your pocket?
Yeah, I mean, I drove that '03 truck until the front door fell off, so I was required.
That was pretty impressive.
I was crying. I paid
Yeah.
full price for that truck. I was very proud at one time back in '03. But I just bought a 19 truck, which means I bought it last year, right? So, you know, you do make sacrifices to be able to keep it going and building it up. You know, I think there's
Right.
a big part of patience too. There's a lot of people in our world that saw that you can make money in our industry. And so they come into our industry, but they don't understand that you've been doing it 35 plus years, 18 plus years,
37,
right?
thank you.
Okay, give you the 37 , yeah.
Who's counting?
Yeah. But I mean, a long time to get where you are,
That's twice
you know?
as long as you have.
But again, it's been.
Well, you're
you
like
have
12
to
when I
be,
got in business?
11.
Or
You
not
have
even
to
12?
be patient, you
Right,
know,
you do have
and
to be patient.
that's the hardest part. Is you want success, and you have some amazing agents that we spoke to in your office that have done the rookies of the year, like amazing. They do a great job. The goal with that is to maintain it and stay
especially
consistent.
when we get out of a hot market,
Yeah.
it's going to happen. And if you don't have those systems and you don't have those habits and understand to run it like a business, you're going to be out of business because that's when you're going to have to be even more, holding your money accountable even at a tighter rate to make you profit.
You bring up a good point, Jason. Half the agents have never seen a bad market.
Correct.
A good at least a half of what's available, or the agents that are active out there in Middle Tennessee right now, have never seen a bad market.
Yeah.
Wait till that adjustment happens, because it will happen.
We have a closing that's happening. It's $450,000. So I can understand what that commission is. I saw a text message come through, and there's it's not the agent's fault nor my fault. But if it does not close by a certain time, they're going to go rent. So I bet you that agent had that $450,000 times whatever in a budget for maybe Christmas, right? Or for the holidays, right?
Well, you can't help but start counting it. You know?
Right. So that's the other part that I think where you have to, how do you word it? Like separate yourself from that. Like, I don't want to see those numbers. I just need to keep working, because the hardest thing I see were some originators, they had a pipeline of 5 families that they were going to help. And all of a sudden 4 fell out, you know, and that one definitely wasn't going to hit the mark for
Don't
them.
spend it until it's in your bank account.
Again, that's part of your knowing your numbers. Your numbers being, look, if you're doing a good job, there's always going to be fallout.
Yes.
Okay. What is your numbers? Is it 10%? If it's more than that, more than 12, then you probably are selling too hard. If there is no fallout, then you're probably not selling hard enough. You know, there's a balance in there. You need to know your numbers. And of course, the better you get, hopefully those numbers are less and less, but know your numbers. That's one number that a lot of people don't know. They're not working in an offensive fashion. They're working in a defensive fashion. Offensive fashion, meaning the best defense is a better offense. The better offense is having more deals in the pipeline.
Right.
Don't count them. Don't count them at all. Put yourself on a basic salary like that. Maybe give yourself a bonus based on number of transactions or something like that, so your needs are met. But you're really you're building that nest egg where you can do the things that you really are wanting to do long term. That you're not putting yourself in harm's way because you're living out there at that 9,000 full clip. Like there's no taxes and there's no other issues to.
I know, and I've helped some families that are real estate agents. And it's so hard for me to have to say you can't get this new house for yourself because you didn't pay your taxes. Right. And they didn't, and it snowballed and it gets out of control really, really fast. Right. And so really planning for that. I love, if you guys have not watched The Founder, it's super good. And again, it is a real estate show because they're not selling, if you really understand the whole concept at McDonald's, it was real estate, not hamburgers.
It's a great show.
But if you don't want to watch the movie, go and just Google the Speedy system. And I think you were referencing earlier, there is a system to create a hamburger in 30 seconds, right? A perfect hamburger in 30 seconds. How do you create that perfect experience for the client, right? What is that for the Hoover team, the Moore team, the, Carey Ann team type of thing? And I think starting there is super important too, right? Because you have to add that to your business plan and you have to stay consistent. That's where your brand comes into play, right? You can't just say you do something without it actually following through with true actions, So learning that part and adding it to your plan, I think, is important as well. Maybe you're not adding ketchup and mustard and pickles, but there's some sort of version of it.
Different ways you are.
Yeah.
Well, he sent me a video or audio one time called "Give Everyone the Pickle." Remember that?
Yeah. Let them have the pickle.
Let them have the pickle. That was a great.
Give them
that's
the pickle.
Great analogy.
Well, in my office, I'm like, do you have your two? Oh, and that is an awesome one. Is that ice cream or something? No. Is that the storyline with the ice cream guy? We'll get to it.
That's why I said give him a pickle.
Yeah, but there's some pickle
in ice cream. Not going to give him pickles.
Yes, there is. There's some dude I think named Pickle. I don't know, but I'll look it up. But in our office, we talk about, do you have your two pickles? All I have to say is two, because it's not about, if you understand that hamburger does not leave without two pickles.
Yeah.
Two pickles constantly, right? Constant. It's a consistent two pickles. And if there's not two pickles, it gets over here, right? Type of thing. So having that file consistent the same way every single
Rhythm
time.
of business.
And that is so key, right? And so do you have your two pickles? Yeah. But I swear there's a pickle with ice cream or something. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go back. We'll talk about it at a different topic.
Book or something. I don't know.
I did eat a lot of pickles. You're right. Jersey Mike's not Jersey Mike's, Jimmy John's. They bring you a whole thing of pickles. And when I was pregnant, they came daily to my office right up here down the street. It was cheap funny. I don't eat that many pickles anymore.
Outside of pickle, so back on the business plan.
Going back to the business plan.
So one thing, just to kind of go back over is that you need to know your budget. And then from there you can determine your income forecasting, and from there you've got to understand how you're going to build that or how you're going to get that income. So that's your marketing and that's your lead generation. And so we'll be covering
stepping out of your comfort zone.
We'll be covering that. Then it comes down to how do you stay committed? That is your schedule. How are you? What's your schedule like every single day? And
do you have kids? Do you have to pick a daughter up
absolutely.
or drop a kid off?
It is it applies differently to different people, and then the last piece of that is the accountability. So all of these pieces go into your whole business plan, and you can go beyond that if you want to. You can even make it shorter, but those are, I think, essential pieces that you can understand how your business is going to be built, and you can hold yourself accountable to making that happen.
I love it. And be okay. And sometimes life changes. We learned with 2020 that you're going to have to learn to pivot, through that, but have that core, try to maintain that core, which you did this year.
Right. I don't think we're done pivoting. We live in a lot of craziness right now. I think we need to stay light and stay ready and stay rolling, but we also need to make sure we're intentional. And I'm just really looking forward to this workshop. Jason, again, I want to say thank you for putting it together. I know you put a lot of heart and soul into this thing, and
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's really going to be fun. So and we'll have that recorded by Mr. Jim McCarthy, and we'll be able to share that on our next show, maybe as to where to see that, so people can really get into it. Because again, folks, after 37 years, I cannot tell you how important it is to have this business plan in place. and create some intentional behavior on a daily basis, and keep those goals out there, and then do a self-check, if not an accountability partner, a self-check every quarter at least to make sure, do I need to adjust my goals? Because remember, if you make them too grand and you're nowhere near them, they will work against you. If you make them too light and you get there too easy, again, it works against you. It's just human nature. So have that quarterly. I mean, one thing you've talked about, Jason, is creating an accountability session on a regular basis with our company. I'm looking forward to that as well, because to me, that's going to be the secret sauce over the whole thing.
Love it. So good. So good.
So good.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining us, all about business planning and planning the work to work the plan. Thanks for joining us. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.